Hi, this is Deb Kunkel reporting live for the Oelwein Daily Register. Today we're visiting with Oelwein Mayor Peggy Sherrets, and we're talking about the proposed renting inspection code that's planned for the city to help improve the rental properties in the community and make sure they're all operating at the same standards. Mayor, we have seen a lot of improvements in the Oelwein area in the last few years as far as manufacturing plants, new opportunities for working for people to earn money, and now we're working at better living arrangements for renters. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of this rental inspection code and how it came about?
When I was elected to the city council in 2012, I had retired. I was working at Northeast Iowa Community Action, and part of my job there was to do home visits for Head Start children. We also dispersed funds from United Way and Fayette County General Relief for some rental assistance, and we did fuel assistance also. So in my employment capacity, I was in a lot of rental homes and apartments in the city, and I was appalled at the way some people are living. And it's not just the fact that they may be messy housekeepers or not know how to keep house or clean or anything, but it was the fact that the apartments or houses that we're living in were so substandard, and I wanted to fix that. So 2 of my goals for city council were curbside recycling, and the other was a rental inspection code. And Mr. Prouty had just started his employment about that time, and so when I went to him, he said, "That's exactly what I want to do." And out of his desk, he pulled 2 or 3 little booklets from other towns that he had been looking at because he had the same idea. So, but we've had a lot of changes on the council, and then I became the mayor, and right now we've got a great council. And in our goal setting this last year, they decided that upgrading the appearance of Oelwein has to be number one, our number one goal. So we've seen a lot of nuisance and abatements going on, houses being torn down that were unlivable, unsafe, have been abandoned for years and years, and we will continue that. This is just the next step in that process.
So you're looking at rental houses. We have approximately 810 rental units in the city. Is that correct?
That's correct. About 35% of the housing units in Oelwein are rental.
Okay, and various conditions. Some landlords keep up their properties, some not so much.
That's correct.
If this rental inspection code is made part of the city code, then there will be a fee associated with that for the landlords, and is that a per unit fee?
Yes, it will be a per unit fee, although it will be a larger sum at the beginning, because part of that is having each unit registered also. So that's been difficult to define what were rental units and what weren't. So everyone will be registered, and then that first inspection. And then after that, there will be an annual fee, but the house or unit will only need to be inspected every 3 years.
Okay, so if you have a rental property that brings in, say, $400 a month, and that's $4,800 a year, and the annual inspection fee would be what, roughly $175?
Correct. And we have been talking about changing that rate, even though you're only going to be inspected every year. There will be every 3 years. There will be a fee every year, and those fees will go to hire another full-time person to assist with this inspection, because Mr. Prouty certainly cannot do 810, units by himself. So that's where that is going. But we are working on that bottom fee schedule for right now.
Okay. So that pencils out to only about $19 a month per unit. So do you see landlords talking about increasing their rent to accommodate this?
Yes, I do. There was a lot of dissension when this came up at the very beginning of our landlord meeting last week. But we told them, if you pencil this out, because they're talking about raising it $100 a month or more, and that they have elderly or handicapped people that are on fixed incomes. But when we explained that it only pencils out to $19 a month, then, it was, for the most part, people could see that then and could accept it a little bit. Although they, there was quite a vocal chorus about how much it would cost them to bring their properties up to the inspection level. And along with the information that we gave them, and it is on the city website, there is a checklist which we made up to tell them exactly what the inspector will be looking for. So it's not going to be any surprises.
Okay, that's good to know. What about houses that are already being inspected by another agency?
We're talking about that. We need to talk with Upper Explorer Land, because they do the HUD housing. There are just over 100 HUD houses in Oelwein right now, to see if their rental inspection and ours would match in any way. I do know that Otter Creek, which has several units, and the Meadows, which has several units, are also inspected. So we don't know right now who's inspecting those, but just to see, so that we don't want to cause them extra fees if they are already properly being inspected annually. So
okay,
we haven't decided on that.
That's good information. What about abandoned properties?
We did talk about abandoned property. That's another thing that law enforcement and our building inspectors will be cracking down on. If the unit, whether it is commercial or a residential, is not being used for the purposes it is zoned for, then there will also be consequences there.
Okay, so the effort is designed to improve not only the appearance of the community, but the living conditions and the standard of living for the general public.
Exactly.
Okay, so have you had good input from outside the landlord base?
Actually, this last week, since 2012, when I've been involved with city council and being the mayor, I have had more people come up to me and thank me and congratulate me on, this is the most of anything that we've ever done. And so I was really, really encouraged about that. I mean, I grew up here. I know just about everybody, but there were people that I didn't even know that approached me and thanked me and the council for doing this, that they wished it would have been done 20 years ago. So we're very encouraged by that.
So that's good to know. So if this ordinance goes through with the council, how soon would this be implemented?
We want it implemented by March 2019. So we've already had one work session talking about the fee schedule and kind of working the bugs out of that. And we will do that one more work session, and then we'll call the landlords again and show them what we've come up with. There were some good ideas that they came up with. We didn't have very much of a penalty if somebody needed to be re-inspected, if they failed the first inspection. And landlords felt that wasn't fair to maybe some houses that have been in disrepair for years and years. and the landlords wouldn't comply. So it was like on the backs of the good landlords that were paying the most. So that's why we talked about lowering the annual fee and upping the second and third inspection fees to make it more fair.
Does tax deduction come in play at all in this?
Absolutely. We talked to a CPA, and inspections fees, they all file income taxes on their rental property, hopefully. So they deduct any costs that go with that, and of course have to claim their the rental, the rent income period. But there's lots of things they can do, and inspection fees are one of the things that they can deduct. They cannot deduct any of the penalties. So if they have to be second and third inspected, those fees cannot be deducted. But the original $275 and the annual fee is certainly deductible on their income taxes.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mayor Sherrets, for visiting with us today and giving us the lowdown on the Oelwein's rental inspection code that's coming up for vote in the next few months with the City Council. Thank you.